Hello everyone. Today we are talking with Dr. Narisa Chauvidul-Aw. She ran a FinTech company in London, KogoPAY. So it would be a super exciting dialogue because Narisa has great experience in business, also has good understanding of FinTech, has a view for what's happening in Asia, as well as in London. So I have a lot of questions for Narisa. Hi.
Hello, hi from UK.
So will you share some information? How does your company work? Like how the idea of KogoPAY came to you? How have you started, and what do you do now?
All right. Maybe just start from I'm here in UK for 24 years. I came here for my PhD, so I always interested in new technology. During dot-com boom, when I first came here, I came here in 1996. So 1999, I founded my first website about Thailand. I'm from Thailand, so I was born in Bangkok. So I always interested about new technology. During .com, so I did my first website about Thailand, and 6 years ago, 2000 no not 16, 4 years ago, 2016, I'm interested in blockchain. So because of my friend who did PhD with me a long time ago at London School of Economics, so he gave me a book called Blockchain Revolution. So I read the book and I'm interested in blockchain. So I did some investment, I did some research. So I always interested about cross-border payment, instant cross-border payment. So that's how it started, from interest in blockchain, and I involved with that. I want to do some research and start testing the market and understand compliance. My background is I'm the auditor, so I'm a CPA, certified public accountant, and then compliance. My PhD research about compliance in the bank. So my background always about compliance. And then the reason why I start my small business first, small payment license, so I understand in the industry before I jump into doing KogoPAY right now. And and then I built a prototype for mobile wallet, because my interest always cross-border payment, instant cross-border payment. In 2016, about using blockchain. But and then I in 2018, so I applied for another license in Europe, for electronic money license, and always look for innovative technology to build my KogoPAY mobile wallet. My focus is between Europe, UK, Europe, and Asia, and also the other way around.
That's very interesting. And when you have started to research blockchain, what have you done? I mean, have you spoken with different people on conferences, or you just started to do some projects?
I joined a few blockchain groups, like Government Blockchain UK chapter, and as a member there. So I attended a few conferences, and I did join blockchain courses at Oxford University. So I 3 months, so I learned with that, and I also invested in FinTech startup using blockchain. So I sat there as a compliance for free for almost a year. So I learned from there.
Do you use these solutions currently in your engine of this current
I mean,
startup?
using blockchain, or your question is I have to telling you a bit about when I invest in the company in 2017 for cross-border payment using blockchain. It deal about cryptocurrencies, like move the tokens between the two countries, so make it fast. At that time, imagine a few years ago when you deal with cryptocurrencies, the regulators and the bank, they're not keen to involve with all this blockchain dealing with cryptocurrencies. So the company that I invested didn't survive because of the timing wasn't right. So now I did some research, white papers as well in 2018 for using blockchain for KYC, global rating, and also for settlement. But we put aside, when we talk to bank and also central bank in Europe that we apply for the EMI, electronic money license, they want us to start from fiat currency first and not the cryptocurrencies. So what we are doing now, we just put the blockchain on the side, and then we are working on the normal platform for the fiat. But I just signed an MOU with one company in Asia. They invest in our subsidiary company, and also they are doing blockchain, network like settlement, real-time settlement as well. So we're not doing ourselves, but we're gonna, when the time is right, we're gonna bring whatever we did the research before into our web platform. But we also partner with company that using blockchain for instant settlement. It's similar to what I invested in 2017, but in a bigger scale. They're a big company in Asia, kind of Asian version for Ripple. So I'm happy because we are always interested in blockchain technology and any innovative technology. But we're not doing ourselves, but we use their network. We are using the same network, to do our the structure for the whole system that we have, ecosystem that we use.
What differentiates you from, for example, banks? What if I want to send money to someone abroad, why should I use, for example, KogoPay? Or I heard you have a lot of competitors, and I guess Revolut is one of them, no?
Revolut is like a bank, right? Yeah. So transfer the money. For us, we interested always from the day one is a real time, instant. I'm not sure. I don't think they can do, especially in Thailand. We would be the first one to do real time, first in Thailand. The UK, Europe to Thailand, and also we're gonna expand to other countries that my new investor and we call business partner has a network in later on, maybe Cambodia, Indonesia, Philippines, hopefully in China one day as well through that network. Mm-hmm. And also my mobile app different from Revolut, TransferWise. They are good. I mean, they're doing well. But my one, we built in what we use a lot in Asia, like QR code payments as well. So we just signed contract with one big company platform for wallet and QR code in Japan. So next year when you go to, next year Olympic, you go to Japan, you can use KogoPay using the wallet. QR code in Japan. They have probably about 300,000 merchants in Japan, and they expanding to other countries like Hong Kong, Singapore, Korea. So we tag along with them as well. I love to work in partnership with people who doing good, who doing well in in their business, and we partner with them. Mm-hmm. And we also going to use AI. We are going to integrate with a company in San Francisco as well, using AI to help us in AML, anti-money laundering, to look at the transaction that maybe suspicious transaction that leading to risk transaction, high risk transactions as well.
Mm-hmm. It sounds logical. Sounds very logical.
Yeah, and you use have KogoPay, and you just need one app, and you can send the money instantly to the country that we have network first, and also you can use QR code when you go to Asia as well, and hopefully in Europe when it's not common in Europe to introduce it, but I would love to try to work with some companies that using QR code payment and also introduce to some merchants here as well. And also our vision, we want to be ethical and inclusive. My heart, I always help homeless people and, orphanage homes. So this is my part-time, not hobby, what should I say, volunteering work. So I take my children to orphanage home every year during their summer holidays in Thailand near Burma to help these people. So I want to be able to use my business, my KogoPay app, to help other people as well. Like I want to see one day you can pick up the phone, scan and pay using QR code to pay for homeless or to pay for big issue vendors in the UK. Big issue vendor is Big Issue is a charity. I don't know what they call it. social enterprise that help homeless people sell the magazine on the street. So when I build the KogoPay, I always think of how to help these people as well. So it's in our vision that we want to be able to help. So I want people to use KogoPay and they feel that they are part of our ecosystem, pay it forward. We help other people as well.
Do you see some competition from classic banks? I mean, does anyone do something like you do? I mean, what differentiate you in this field of transferring money?
Our app, remittance is one part of the app, yeah, and QR code also another services in the application. They can use the bank, but it might take few days. So we always offer the service instant, and we try to be competitive, cheaper and fast, like instant, real time. So if you go to the bank, you could, pay more expensive, and it take a few days. So our app, you can also request the money. So imagine that you go to Thailand, use a KogoPay. Next time I show you how it look like. You can exchange from, I'm not sure, maybe in the future in Russia, but now it's pound or euro to Thai baht, if you go to Thailand. And then you can exchange, put the Thai baht in the wallet, because wallet is multi-currency wallet. And when you arrive at the airport, you can withdraw cash. There's a function that you can withdraw cash. You can go to our agents, which is our partner in Thailand, and show them the QR code that you can just say withdraw 1,000 baht, and they can scan, and you just pay a small fee for them, and you can take cash from there. When you walk on the street, they don't take card. You can scan and pay with QR code. You buy food on the street as well. And if you don't have enough money, you can send requests to your family who have KogoPay app and wallet in the UK, and they can send money to your wallet straight away. So we are different. So we design something that we, the app that be different. So you can use QR code anywhere, hopefully one day. It's just a country that we have a network first that we can use, like in Japan, Thailand, Hong Kong, Singapore soon, and Korea as well. So you need one app. You cannot use whatever bank application to do the same level we are doing.
I see. That's completely different way to transfer money.
Yeah, and I like to create. I said before, pay it forward. I want to see one day you can go to the cafe and to the shops and buy your own food and drink using KogoPay, and then you pay for someone else food and drink. When homeless people or people who don't have money walk past, see the sign KogoPay, they can come in and ask for free food or drink that someone else pay for them. This is something that is in my heart. I want to make it happen. Like people, help other people, especially in COVID-19. But I thought about it long time ago when I started business a few years ago, or not just recently, but it can help now during the crisis COVID-19 when everyone help each other.
Mm-hmm.
But we thought of it a long time ago. It's in my DNA. In one of my articles in LinkedIn, I always talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, hopefully it's different. So.
That's very kind. Actually, that's a way to support people in the world. And it's not the only money should motivate businessmen and business people.
Not motivate me to do business. I've been through working as a consultant, lecturer, so it's something that made me excited about doing things. So this kind of vision that I have encouraged me to do well, and also my team as well.
Where do you find time to run so much activities?
I know. I have two children as well, so I should. I don't sleep a lot, but I should. I do a lot of, because we are small, we start up, so we raise fund enough to do whatever we are now. So we don't spend a lot. So a lot of work I have done by myself. Like compliance, reporting, finances. I have the CFO as well, but most of works, I have to do a lot by myself. So save the money as well. But we have a team, a good teamwork that's helping as well. So we're raising funds. So hopefully we're looking for investors who have the same belief and vision like us. I don't want to just get investors who maybe have different vision and idea of how to run KogoPAY. So it takes time, but we're getting there.
But you already have some traction. I mean, you already have payments. In which countries do you work currently?
My focus, the first focus group will be Thai people in UK and Europe. That's the first focus group. Altogether, it's about 1 million. Well, 20 years ago, when I was a PhD student here, I founded the first Thai magazine in the UK, free from day one. I'm still doing it 20 years now. So lots of people know me. It's called Thai Smile, THAISMILE. If you go to thaismile.com, it's my magazine. So it's a good quality Thai magazine and it is free. So yeah, so my community know me very well. So it's easy, probably not really easy, but easy to go to the market that they know me well.
Have you already built a solution, or is it just the stage of some kind of MVP or just testing?
We're testing is we're supposed to launch last month, not last month, in April 22nd in Bangkok with my partner. So we postponed it to probably in summer, maybe August, September, and it's almost done. We're testing it. I can show you. we do testing, send the money, and use a QR code as well. So we're almost there. We can launch anytime, but we're just waiting for a few things during the COVID-19. I don't think it's a good time to celebrate or launch anything. So I use this time that we have to raise more funds and also to develop banking platform as well. So in the future, we can provide virtual IBAN accounts for customer, in Asia as well. I start from Thailand first. We got some customer who send the money to pay for tuition fees for their children in the UK already and pay some invoices. So we can do more in the future. We're giving them the platform that they can log in and just like a digital banking, but yeah.
Do you think it would be much harder currently in this lockdown period to find to fundraise? How do you speak with a lot of investors? How is it going now?
It definitely is harder, when everyone stop pausing, even ourselves, you're not doing anything much. In the first month, like end of March, April, so everyone didn't do anything much. Before the lockdown in the UK, we arranged get together with the investor a few days before government announced the lockdown. So instead of we mingle around and talk and present it to investors, so we didn't have that chance to see them face to face. So we had to cancel it, but never mind, because things happen, we couldn't control. But however, we signed MOU, I said before, last week. We still talk to potential investors. So if you believe in what you're doing, and I believe in what we're doing, and you still got people who contact you as well, and you can still doing like you and me doing now. We did all the Zoom call, and we just not raise fund. It might be difficult for someone who had idea and haven't developed the product, but we done this since 2017, 2018. So we develop our product. It's almost finished. So when we can show them, the app that we have, even though it's not live yet, but we can send them, what we have. So it's still okay. It's slower than, what it should be. Instead of we can fly to see them in Asia or in Europe, if, investor come from Europe, but we can still doing like this. And we still managed to get them signed the MOU, and we're quite excited because the company that we are working with soon in the future is a large company that I it's good for us to be in their network as well. So we should announce soon which company. So we do press release soon, but in a small scale, during COVID-19, you don't want to be like, wow, we just have to be humble and do what we can and do what we best at, good at.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy, but if you believe in yourself and your product, it's still possible to find an investor. But as from my experience in the past, if you partner with someone or you have investor that cannot share your vision and doesn't have the same belief in the business or the way we run the business, it's quite difficult. We had the partner that we have different idea, vision, so we have to separate. Like when you marry someone, if you separate, it's a painful process. So we just have to be careful. Even an investor, that anyone who the startup and looking for the investment, I just share my experience. Take time, don't rush, and you believe that you are doing what you're good at, and one day you can find the investors. So keep praying, and just waiting for the right person to come along. You'll be fine. It'll be slow, but don't rush in. COVID-19, everyone have the same problem, not only you. So I encourage whoever listen to your blog that keep doing what you're good at and believe in what you're doing and learn from the mistake or failures. I told you I invest in the startup, blockchain startup. It didn't continue. I lost the money, but I learned from experience and why it didn't work and why it might work.
Have you lost a lot of money if it's not a secret?
What is it?
I mean, you have lost some amount. It doesn't matter. I'll ask you in other circumstances, not for record. And how much have you? Yeah. So actually, I've seen on your website that you ran a successful crowdfunding company. So your community has helped you too, I guess, to complete the goal, to reach the goal.
When you say my community, what do you mean? Who's that? You mean Thai community or FinTech community?
Any community, I guess.
I think most of the investors from the crowdfunding, I don't know them personally, is from the crowdfunding platform. So some of them I probably know, like my friends. Few of my friends that I told them, we were on the crowdfunding, so some of them invested, but majority of 200, I think 200 something investors, I didn't know them before. But a few of them become like someone who regularly, text me or message me and give advice or what do you do this and that. It's quite nice to have small numbers of investors, about 200 that we have, I think, to believe in us. So I hope that one day their investment will double in terms of the values or more, 5 times, 10 times, whatever in the future. Because they are the first group of people who, to trust or believe in your business and put the money there.
I see. I just have heard that it's very difficult to find money using crowdfunding platforms because you need a strong community of followers or of your blog or whatever. And what basically you're saying is that a lot of people who haven't heard about you has invested to your project.
Some people probably heard about us, but not a lot. Because last year, I think we start crowdfunding. We finished in December. So 3 months, September, October, November. Start in October, November, December, okay, September. Before, I think in November, I won the Women in Tech startup in Lisbon, Portugal. And also, I think in September, I was selected to join Mayor of London London and Partners program as well. So I have a chance to talk about, what I'm talking to you now, my business and my vision. So some of them knew me as well through the, this program and the award that I had last year. So to help a bit, to be recognized as the woman in tech, the award I have, and also, to join this accelerator program by Mayor of London programs.
Regarding relationships with investors, basically this is a question which I was thinking about, because I already had some issues with such relationships in the past, a very long time ago, but it took some difficulties to separate, and how to secure yourself, how much it's like a marriage, I guess. You cannot just to be partnered with everyone. You need some time to evolve your relationships, to get better each other, get know better each other. And what are you going to do with it? How are you going to?
As I said before, I had have some partners in my other businesses as well. Like I choose the wrong partners that, we didn't have the same vision, the way we run business. I couldn't work with someone who just looking at profits and not thinking of social responsibility and other stuff as well. So I end up have to buy the share from them, and the process is quite painful, as I said before. Like you said, it's like a marriage. You don't want to end up divorcing someone, even your business partner. So that's why I said that it would take time for us to decide who would be the investor. Sometimes time is quite tight. If you short of cash, you need to raise ASAP because you don't have much cash left to run the business. So you have to justify. For crowdfunding, it's different. Crowdfunding is small investors, so they won't have the control of the business because of they are different. Like we have 200 investors in your crowdfunding, so it's managed by Crowdcube Crowdfunding nominee company. So you don't have direct, talking or connection with them. But some of them, like I said before, they send email to us. It's quite nice. For the investor now, thanks God, I still have majority of my shares, so I can still decide the way that I want to run business. But in the future, as a VC, venture capital or company who would have majority of the shares in my company, so I have to be careful in talking to them and see whether the vision of my vision and their vision will be the same, and they have to believe in what we're doing as well. And also, if they have the business like the company that I signed MOU last week, they have the business that we can work together well in our ecosystem, like support each other. That would be another plus for us. We're looking for the partners who can, or investors who can help us to do real-time settlements as well. So this would be benefit for both of us. Mm-hmm. But as I said before, I suggested breathe, take time, and believe in your project and pray. Sometimes things happen beyond we can control it. Sometimes like the investor just come in, approach us before we approach them as well. So you never know. So you just have to believe and have faith and trust, and don't rush in because of we don't have any choices. I'm hope that everyone would have the opportunity to be able to choose, but not rushing in making decision that they end up like something that they don't want in the future. Mm-hmm. But if you make a long decision, I did. That's how you learn that. You build a muscle when you exercise. You have to learn from your mistake, but just just try to not to, but if it happens, that's fine. I experienced that before, so it's fine.
But of course, you have to take into consideration burning rate. For example, if it's currently, if it's difficult to fundraise, to make some relationships with investors. So if you're a startup, you need to have I don't know, maybe amount of money to maintain your business for I don't know, maybe 18 or 24 months to be able to find investors and evolve their relationships. I mean, it's just
it takes time. So you have to give yourself quite a good months, many months runway, cash to run. So we know that because we've been through that before. So we at the point that okay, we found the potential investor. Hopefully we sign the MOUs. So hopefully we go ahead. So in the past we have to do something else as well. Like if you know that you need time. So we had crowdfunding. So the money we raised, so help us to give us some time to looking for potential investors, and this process is not just happen suddenly. So you have to give yourself some time. During the crisis like COVID-19 as well, there's some help from the government. If we have to cut costs, something like we have office in Bangkok. So we big office, we're quite expensive and staff. So we have to maybe move the office. So we negotiate with the buildings. So we in the process about a few weeks ago. We already planned it, but just give them the notice. How can we terminate before the contract end? Because we have 3 years contract, so we can negotiate with them. So we might move to the investor office as well. So we're under process. So we have to find a way, look at the whole picture and put everything on the table and see what we can do during the crisis like this. Everyone have challenging time now. So you just have to, okay, we can cut costs. I think it's a good time to go and negotiate with any suppliers, like the building, the rent, and the government. The UK government help furlough, so we might have to put some staff who cannot work anyway during lockdown to the furlough because government help. So we have to find any way that would help more or less. So you have to cut down costs as well and plan for the future as well. If it doesn't happen, because we plan as well. If it doesn't happen as planned, so what? Okay, we try our best. So we move on to the next project. This is the way of my thinking. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be painful. It's not easy, but you have to prepare yourself as well. I have to prepare myself as well. If it doesn't happen, what? Well, in every startup, everything, the idea is good. It's something that you motivate yourself, you activate your brain to think, and you try. If it works, it's good. If not, why not? And you move on to something else. It's easy to say it, but when you done it, you pass it, and you look back, you'll be fine. Trust me, I done a lot of projects. Good, okay, didn't continue, but one day you'll be fine. I just want to help encourage. Hopefully, I think your listeners, a lot of startups. So hope that we can encourage them as well. We've gone through before, and then be okay now.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
100% agree with you. It's just an iterative process. You need to try and to do something, to use your experience or maybe some technologies from your past projects. Also, question is,
sorry, and one thing, think positive. Yeah, sometimes the crisis can be opportunity, but as I said before, every year I take my children to the orphanage homes. So during that time is my time of rest, because I work a lot. I say I don't sleep a lot because a lot of work. So during that time is my time to reflect, encourage myself by helping people. So I think positively, think what we can help other people. that one will give you back the energy to do and to help you create and think in terms of what to do next in your business and your startup. So that's one thing that I learned. You think of other people first, and then that energy will come back to you.
Yeah. Do you think anyone can build international business? Because what you do is actually a super global business. And do you think you would run it all the time, or maybe someday you will hire with your partners will hire some CEO who will replace you running all the business? Is it anyone can go so far, or it's not for everyone?
Talking about what you call we work in different cultures. We are in Europe and we work in Asia as well. Because of my background, I was born in Bangkok. I'm Thai, but I came to the UK for my study. So I've been here 24 years. So I used my the advantage of multi-diversity, multi-cultures, whatever, and network and connection that I have in Asia. So so you look at what you're good at, like, I'm from Thailand, so I still have my network there. I was a lecturer there in Thailand before, so I have a good network. I grown up there, and also I've been here too long, 24 years. So I have my network, and I lecture here as well. So I have my network. So I use my experience, my network for my business. This is for my advantage. So in the future, of course, no one can, what's the word? Everyone can be replaced by someone. So I'm sure that one day I can find CEO to replace myself, because I give myself 12 years. So now I have 8 years left. I want to exit my business or someone else will run the business, because my long-term goal, I'm going to do volunteering work for homeless people. I did short-term before in Tokyo for homeless, and in Thailand and near Burma for orphans, for orphanage homes. So in 8 years time, I set my plan. So I have to find someone to run the business, and I probably will, if the business, thank God, do well, so I can be chairwoman, and I can do what I love to do, which is long-term goal to do volunteering work for long-term. So I set myself, my team know, and my investor know as well that this is my long-term plan. So exit probably within 8 years, or maybe faster than that. So someone else will run the business, but I have to find someone who have the same vision and same belief. And this is a KogoPAY, what I want to see, the ecosystem that I love to see, to be ethical and inclusive and help people along the way.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much, I don't know, logical goal for everyone who've been working hard for many years and actually who understand the situation in the world and someday maybe everyone will find themselves willing to help to those who've been not so lucky because of different circumstances. So I guess this is I don't know the correct word in English, but
inspiration. More or less, if it can be of any inspiration, more or less we'd be happy. I forgot to tell you what Kogo. Kogo is Japanese word, Kogo. Because I used to help homeless people in Japan. So I love Thailand, and also I love Japan as well. Kogo means alternative. And I searched it. They say that if it's a woman named Kogo, like Kogo-san, mean kind entrepreneur. So we like the meaning. We try to find a lot of names and Thai name, French, Greek. So we end up using Kogo. It's a good name.
Yeah, I like it pretty much. But for those of listeners who are not close enough to the part of helping to other when they need to find something to solve, some way to make money, what would you advise? I mean, which trends do you see? Which pains that could be solved by the technologies, maybe something that you see within your company that could be done in the other way by different suppliers or providers. What's evolving currently from your point of view? You're in FinTech business now, so that's the question.
You mean what other business besides what we're doing that can do well and in the future and go along the way? Or
maybe what you would invest in something other than your business? Maybe some advice of investing to other businesses. Something.
That might, what kind of business that I might be interested to invest in the future. Sometimes I invest in something is totally different from what I'm doing. But in a small investment, like in the past, I might invest in something that I'm interested in. Like, in 2017, I invest in blockchain startup for instant cross-border payment. But sometimes I invested in British guy. He's opened the Thai restaurants as well because he had passion. So Andy Oliver, I put some money there as well through the crowdfunding because of he believed in his business and he believed that he do well. So I, as an investor as well, a small investor, I invest in the business that people have passion in what they do well. And also another company I invested in, company that help in Africa to give the fund to small startup in Africa to help local community, something like that. I also invest money there. I don't even know them. So any business that the founders believe in the business and then they have experience before and they can show me that, like I'm a small investor, okay? I'm not like put a lot of money there, but someone who can show me that they can do well, they have passion, they have experience, and they can do well. And especially if they can help a community around them. Is anyone can help in a small way or big thing. Doesn't have to be what we're doing, but if they do well, do in the right way, have integrity to do what they're doing, we believe in them. It doesn't have to be high, innovative or technology like blockchain, AI, IoT. So it doesn't matter. You can do something, even a small little thing, without technology. You can find investors as well. And I will invest in that kind of business as well. So the easy way, maybe crowdfunding is not easy, as you know, but there are lots of platforms that they can show their business. They have to find somewhere that they can be included in the platform. The people can know them.
By the way, I have a small talk with my friend, and he asked me where to better invest, because in banks you cannot keep money in the banks because it's too low rates. You have not so big rates, especially in European banks. In Russian, if you store money in rubles, you have much more higher rates, but it's not enough to grow your capital, and if you're private investor, so it's better to use some crowdfunding platforms, or maybe is it some other applications or ways to make good rates, maybe 15% annual or something else, or crowdfunding is the best way for some private investors? Is it helpful actually?
Crowdfunding, you don't use your life saving, okay, or family saving to invest in this kind of business that you know that the high risk of they're not making it happen, or they discontinue like I did in 2017. When you're talking about invest, you have to make sure that you're willing to lose it, okay, in crowdfunding, any projects. If it's not like project like already successful. But if they're already successful, they probably won't go to the crowdfunding if they're like a large corporation. If you want to invest in crowdfunding or small projects, you have to make sure that the money that you invest is something you're willing to lose. If it's not that, for me, okay, I can't tell from other people's situation. For me, since I came to the UK, I invested in property. I didn't want to rent as a student, so I bought my first house in 1997. So that gave me a good timing. So look at some business that is a right timing, like that. So property, the low risk. In the past is high return because I sold my first house, I got huge return, but probably not now. But looking for something like that low risk and high return, or low risk and low return. So split your saving or investment for me, okay, into different portion. But don't spend all your life saving for family or something into one go. A lot of people asked me a few years ago when we Bitcoins, because when I invest in blockchain startup, we have to dealing with buy tokens and sell tokens in Asia and Nigeria, where we test the market. People ask me whether they should buy Bitcoins and have an investment. I said that if you have like spare money to lose, you can buy it for fun, but not using all your life saving or whatever, family saving into high risk. So, token is still high risk, isn't it? All the cryptocurrency is still high risk. During ICO, we prepare all the paper for ICO, but we didn't want to do it. So all this we done it before. So investment should separate into, what you low risk, medium risk, and high risk. And the company, if you believe in the project, like startup, maybe you can invest. If you're a small investor, invest in, I think crowdfunding is a good platform that you can choose the project that you want to invest. If you're not a VC, venture capital have their own way of thinking. But don't forget, in venture capital, 10 projects is 8 projects fail. They're still looking for only 2 projects that are successful. Even big company like that, they, how many percent? 80% fail, 20% successful.
Do you think if you take, for example, 100 or maybe 1,000 companies to invest in without any scoring of them, just throwing money to 1,000 companies, and if you score that amount of companies, depends the risk of losing all the money, or maybe 80% of money, or I don't know, is it depends or something, or is it just about mathematics, the big numbers?
You're asking me whether if you invest in lots of companies, would it fail? How many percent? The companies I invest through the crowdfunding platform, I never get the money back yet. But for example, the project in Africa, it doesn't matter. I put some money there, even though not a lot, but a lot, it's not like, it's quite good numbers, but at least I know that they're going to help people. So I'm fine with that. But that is the money that I'm willing to lose. And the other project is, say, for example, the restaurants. It's closed now, yeah, because of COVID-19. But I help my friends to start his own business. He's British, but he loved Thai food. So he did very well in terms of follow-up. And then when he opened the restaurants, he did very well. But it's because of COVID-19, have to, temporarily close it down. So at least I know that I help someone I know or someone I don't even know. I feel good already, that even though I don't get money back. But for restaurant, I get the free drink. So I go and get free drink, but not now. So crowdfunding is not the investment that people who invest there and see the return fast in terms of money. And crowdfunding, you have to understand, I didn't understand in the beginning a few years ago that you didn't get the money like in terms of dividends. You might get free drink that I got, but you don't get dividend or whatsoever. You will get the return when they sell the business. So you might have to wait forever or for a long, long time. So you have to be willing to put the money there for a long, long time. So if you want to invest, maybe go to some banks, or they have, if a small investor, maybe we have to trust financial institutions who have expertise of investment. Or if you like yourself, you can invest in property or something that you can see the potential. But I'm not the expert to advise, but this is from my experience. Yeah, but if you want to start up something, it's a good thing as well, but you have to have the skill of the entrepreneur skill. You have to be willing to suffer a lot of pressure, a lot of time that I want to give up. It's happened to I think every entrepreneurs. If you want to start up something, also is a good investment as well. You use the money to build up your skill, to build up. You fail, that's okay. You start again. And you fail, never mind, start again. But don't put all the money that you save all your life, and you're going to be in trouble if you lose it. If it doesn't happen to me, KogoPay, I still have something that I can support my family, even though majority of our money put into the business. But if it doesn't happen, I still okay. My family is still okay.
Yeah, very good advice. It's time to move to the end of our conversation. In the end, I always ask about some mistake from the past which influenced to you, which conclusions have you made from that mistake, and anyone has something to say. Yeah.
Or maybe three. One is, I had I don't say bad partners, but I had wrong partners. A few times I had wrong partners. It's very, very painful process. It's very demotivated. You didn't feel that you want to do your business because you don't have someone who can support me in the way that you want to. So be careful. Well, but you never know when you partner with someone. Yeah, you didn't know, but later on you will know. But you learn from mistake, but try not to. It's very, very painful process, and it's very demotivated. Second, partner timing. Sometimes you have to take time to see whether what we're doing now, investing or starting the business, is the right timing or not. I invested in a company startup. Wow, that time, ICO, cryptocurrency, blockchain. It looked like, wow, it's good, but the timing was not right. If you have to deal with cryptocurrencies at that time, central bank regulators is not keen on business to deal with all this. So the business didn't continue because of it's not a good timing. And what's the other one? Timing, partners. I forgot the other one. Maybe mistake I learned. Timing one. Maybe this big two probably. Or maybe the fundraising, or don't get the pressure from you don't have enough funding. So make sure that we have enough runway to spend. Otherwise, if you are in a situation you have nowhere to go, you might make the wrong decision.
That's very good advices. They might probably save a lot of time and nerves for someone.
Hopefully. That's why I share experience. So don't forget that everyone have their own. I'm thinking of my life as a book. Have their own books that they written down. Everyone have different experience. So just my experience hopefully inspire someone or help someone. But everyone have different life books that they've written on their own stories. So every story have a very interesting something to learn for everyone to share and learn. So you don't have to be like me, but hopefully we inspire someone and encourage someone to do well. If not, just thinking of that as an experience to move on to do something even better in the future.
Maybe one last question. If you don't have any ideas where to go, where to find the ideas for the business, who talk with, to talk about what, with who, this uncertainty, how to deal with it?
That's interesting question, because the question I asked myself probably 20 plus years ago. So what I always do, I always think of something new every day. Silly thing, interesting thing, like, okay, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? So I always think of interesting thing. It's even though a crazy thing. Okay, I want to sell sock or so, something like that, but not like that. you think something new every day, and you just not working. So I train my brain. It's my character, maybe. I train my brain to look for something interesting to do, and if it doesn't work, you just remove it, tick out. And also, if you're interested in something, like when I read a book about blockchain, it started from just a book that my friend who worked for IMF in Washington, D.C. Introduced me to. So I put myself into this environment. I joined all the blockchain groups. I joined the courseware, classes, courses online. So I involved into a lot of seminars. So if you're interested in something, after you tick, what you think, and okay, you choose, oh, this is what so interested. You have to be interested. And you involve yourself into different groups, learnings, webinar, seminar. After COVID-19, you go back to, the conferences and really try to understand, and talking to people, the expert in the field it's so good. I mean, you learn from them a lot. So I set up my blockchain group, 4 of us, 2 years ago. So when we discuss, when we talk about things, you get ideas from other people, and then you develop idea yourself what you want to do. It's not easy, just think and do it. It's a process. It's a processing, like a computer. You have to process, like your brain also like a computer. You process it, and then you come up with the idea. But once you get the idea, you concentrate on that. I learned from my experience and other people that I saw. They have they have the business, and they how to say, they distract. They do something else, and they couldn't concentrate on what they want to do. And later on, they couldn't do well because of they do too many things at the same time. It happened to me as well. So when you get what you want to do, you have to concentrate and just do what you want to do. A lot of people ask me to do a lot of things, idea, blah, blah, blah. But I can't, even though it's a good opportunity to do it, but you have to concentrate on what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And then try to do well. Just one thing that you try. Don't try to do many things.
So if to summarize, it's interest, then growing your expertise in that area of the interest, then somehow ideas came up, and focusing on that ideas.
Yeah, and also don't forget one thing as well. After you do that, you see whether timing is right or not. By asking people. So timing is the key as well. And then later on, maybe team, money coming in, fundraising. Failure will come, in the process, small or big, but you need to accept it and learn from it as well. But it's experience. Well, you have to be older. It's a good thing for being old. Getting old, you have experience and to share with someone else. I like to be, I was a lecturer before, so I like lecturing, talking, mentoring people as well. And I like to be taught, to be a mentee as well. So it's a two-way learning as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have shared a lot of interesting experience. We haven't had enough of time, unfortunately, to dive deeper in processes of your KogoPAY business, but anyway, it was very exciting dialogue. I hope you will find some time to join another conversation to share what's happening in fundraising and about, I hope, successful story of evolving of your company. So I wish you all the best with your business.
Thank you for having me, and I can share experience. So hopefully in summer, maybe August or September, we will announce on our website and also on LinkedIn as well when we are launching it with our new investor and partners. So keep an eye and pray for us.
Absolutely, I will do it 100%.
Thank you, Sergey.
Thanks, Narisa. Bye.